And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Orange You Glad It's Not the Closer number 9. And I'd like to start off the show by giving a shout out to everybody's favorite law enforcement, and it's happy birthday, Sarge. Glad to see that you made it to number 85. But we've got a small panel to begin with. Here we've got Gizzard and myself, and maybe Snob is hopping back in. He was out and about today, and oh, look at that! We got the wound up sumbitch of the week coming in here.
What's going on here?
Hey, what's up, Roll Call?
Have you started the show yet?
Yeah, just started. You came in. Oh, we haven't even got into the intros yet.
Oh.
Gun Snob's getting his computer fired up, but we've got Gizzard Gary on the panel. How you doing, Gizzard?
I'm doing good. Thanks for the invite, sir.
You're quite welcome. And we've got Roll Call joining us from East Chicago.
Yeah, right. Thanks for having me.
Got Gun Snob. He's apparently got to go in and crank up his computer. He's got one of those fire operated computers. That's what I'm assuming, since he said he had to fire it up. We've got Grim 90s out there, Carolina EDC Reviews. Gizzard Gary is out in the chat, and here we've got Guitar Man Pete, Mad Sexy, otherwise known as AARP, or Diane Feinstein, depends on how he's feeling. Got 38 Super Partisan. We got the Gun Snob. We've got Sarge, who has a link and should get his butt in here. Gun-toting pacifist, the Gun Snob. We've got Armament Axe's son channel partner, Andrew Faulkner. Shaky's in the house for now. I think that's what we got covered. But today was Sarge's birthday, so everybody wish Sarge a happy birthday. Tell him to get in here, unless he's out getting birthday stuff.
Hopefully he's not in his birthday suit.
He better be at least Porky Piggin. Rich White is in the chat. Why aren't you in here, Rich? You also have a link. What is wrong with these guys tonight? Nobody,
guys, really?
I mean, Snob doesn't get them warmed up, so then they don't want to come into mine either. Yes, I guess Snob's gonna have the he's the opening act, and if he doesn't get the audience warmed up, then they don't show up for my chat.
Rich says it's not in his inbox.
I just saw that. Let's see. Yeah, he's probably got me spam filtered. Rick, I sent you another one. Oh, look, Mad Sexy finally spelled my name right, so I can see it pop up in orange.
Yay!
All right, so I only got a couple topics. I don't know how long we'll run tonight, but the first one we've got, and I sent out a link to Angelina, hoping she would come in here and that she would be on Cloud 9, because apparently California got some freedom today or yesterday.
That's what I heard.
You guys see that?
Yeah, I heard that. That they struck down their magazine ban that banned them having more than 10 rounds.
Yep, they got. Just reading the article here that, and the San Diego-based U.S. district judge. So, I mean, not exactly somebody way up there in North California who's doing this. It has put this out, and individual liberty and freedom are not outmoded concepts. Well, who would have thought? Apparently, they've had the ban has from buying or selling since 2000, but people were allowed to keep them. And then in 2006, they approved a law removing that, so they were illegal.
Hey, Rich.
Hello.
Hey, Rich, how are you?
Sore as hell. Hold my right trapezoid muscle or trapezius muscle. So that always feels good.
Oh, yeah. Sounds fantastic.
Oh yeah. Every time I move my right arm, it hurts like all hell.
Well, I'd like to feel sorry for you, but my whole body's sore from working in that freaking pond out there.
Yeah.
So I'm muscling through it, though.
Yeah.
Did you see that about the California mag ban?
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that because it's still got to go before the Ninth Circuit. So we know how they are.
Well, does it go before the Ninth Circuit or does it go to the California Supreme Court?
No, this was federal. This was the federal appellate court for the Southern District of California that ruled it was unconstitutional. So now it would have to go to the Ninth Circuit. The Ninth Circuit had already approved the stay that was on there, and then they sent it back to the judge who made the ruling, so he can further clarify it. Now it's going to go back to the Ninth again.
So now that he's clarified that it's
Back up to the Ninth, yeah.
well, all I know is that people are shipping.
Yeah, but
30 round magazines, PSA, I saw it, and the best one I saw came from Mr. Guns and Gear. He put up one from Tactical Shit, was shipping 30 round magazines, and you use the code FOOL, FOOL, and you got 17.76% off.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes because, like I said, it's got to go back to the Ninth. So it's a short window at this point where you can get them. How long it's going to stay open, who knows? Depends on how long it takes the Ninth Circuit to say, nope, we can't do that. And then if it goes anywhere from there, we'll go to the Supreme Court. This is definitely an interesting situation that California finds itself. And then if it goes anywhere from there, we'll go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that'll be interesting because that'll feed across the country because you got Cook County, in there with Chicago has got a 10 round ban. You got New Jersey and New York have got 10 round bans, 10 round limits, don't they?
Yeah, I believe New York has a 10 round. They tried doing a 7 round, if you remember, and that got struck down as being too. What was the wording on that? Too arbitrary, because nobody made 7 round magazines for anything except like the shield or firearms like that. So that got thrown out. But that's what New York originally tried doing. Which now you got New Jersey trying to do a 5 round ban, which I don't see that one. That'll probably fall into the same category as the New York 7 round, because nobody makes a 5 round magazine.
Well, it depends. Some of them, they make 5 round magazines for ARs.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that the New Jersey and New York are both in the same district, the same federal district. So I don't know how New Jersey thinks they're going to get that through anyway if that district already threw out a 7 round ban in New York. But yeah, this case in California, depending on how things go, could end up affecting all those other states as well.
Well, we could hope. Snob, are you eating your smoked sausage? Is that what's going on?
It's crackers.
No, I am really not. But I am eating a little pepper jack cheese stick. Sargento snacks.
Sensible snacks.
It's good. Just saying. Not as good as my sausage. My smoked sausage is going to be whenever I get off this dumpster fire, but I'll wait.
It's a dumpster fire right now. It's it's a happy birthday, Sarge kind of thing, and he's still chatting away out there in the freaking chat and not getting in here.
Well, I think since Snob is going to have to wait till this is over, we need to drag this out as long as possible.
You know he's just gonna start eating that damn thing anyway. Probably won't
You'll
even
see me
cut.
say "be right back," and that's because I'm going in the house to get my smoked sausage and some crackers.
Just have the boss bring it out to you.
Yeah. I mean, really, I'm not hungry. They fed us like a baked potato bar plus smoked meats, all kinds of different meats. It was really good.
So what was it that you went to?
My son's school, the FFA, Future Farmers of America, or AG, basically has a labor auction every year where they auction off. Some of the boys get auctioned off. Just a fundraiser auction. They have all sorts of stuff, you can buy. Just stuff they make in ag, metal signs and stuff like that. And then different businesses donate stuff.
So it's just like a fun. Is it a school thing or is it?
Yeah, it's a school thing for ag.
Okay.
Which ag's the class where they have the, or for FFA, which it basically funds their whole ag, everything the ag does. But like ag's a class where they have the skeet shooting team and all that. So, which is one thing I bought is a competition. I have to pick 5 parents to go against his top 5 shooters. So I'm sure we're going to lose our butts.
Yeah, the kids have probably got a little better reaction time than their parents.
Yeah, and they probably practice a lot more. I don't shoot skeet very often. I throw a lot of skeet for my kids, but I don't hardly ever shoot it. I don't ever get a chance to. If I do, I shoot 1 or 2 and show them that I can still do it and then walk away.
You see Midnight's making funny over there from his high horse.
Yeah, well, we're a little oaky town. They had some smoked bologna and they actually had smoked prime rib also, I'll have you know.
The Waffle House fry cook is slamming on your baked potato bar.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was always bologna at your house, Snob.
Yeah, well, I will say I was very impressed with his baked potato bar because he actually fried real bacon and cut it up instead of giving you crappy bacon bits. So, I mean, it wasn't just your everyday thing.
So it was fancy baked potato bar.
It had green onions chopped, not chives. I mean, I'm just saying, it was pretty high end.
Cheese, butter.
Yeah, and real butter, not margarine.
Heck yeah, that's the only way to go.
Well, I would hope that the future farmers would have real butter and real cheese and not.
You would hope so.
I didn't see Jesus there. He may have been. I just didn't see him.
He was cooking.
Yeah, he's probably cooking.
How does he say chives are better? That's just dehydrated green onions, isn't it?
Aren't they like tiny green onions?
Yeah, and they're like hard. They're not fresh. I mean, I might be totally wrong. He's probably going to tell me it's some special plant that's,
Salted skin, but yeah, that is good. I like the skin of a potato.
I'm not a skin eater. I mean, I'll eat potato skins, but
I love them. Love
them. Philo must have been sitting there at Palmetto shipping mags to California, and he says they're out of everything. Yeah, I saw their post that they said, please bear with us because there's going to be a demand.
Casino bosses headed to California.
Anybody have the gun laws printed? Yes, they're not allowed. Yeah, you have casino. You have no. You can go check out handgunlaw.us. That's always the one that I go to.
And when you look up states like California, it says you are effed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that is there in big red font.
Do not go there.
It's in there.
Avoid at all costs.
Same thing in New York and New Jersey. Big red font just says you are effed.
Kind of like these big red flags, for Sarge Day.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them. Look at that. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4?
Is that the
Eight,
Six
right?
Flags over Sarge?
That's a 8 flags over.
Oh,
Sarge.
well,
It
you
looks
see,
like.
I don't have. Yeah, I do see it. I have my screen compacted because I have the chat popped out on a different window, so I can't see the whole screen. So I only have 6 flags over Sarge or under Sarge, actually.
Pete says you'll be safe. It's illegal to commit crimes in California. So
Yes.
that's the one saving grace is you can't commit crimes there, so you don't need a gun, of course. What were we thinking?
Well, everything's a sanctuary there, so you're definitely safe.
Just carry a fire extinguisher and tell them you're terrified of fires. You know, they'll do a pretty good amount of choking somebody out when you spray somebody with a big one.
Yeah.
Well, and on the plus side, they have a lot of fires there, so you'll be
You're
safer than most.
Mm-hmm. Probably more prepared than most people in that state for anything.
Casino Boss says you might even end up in the same room as Gavin Newsom. Where is he going?
We may not want that answer. That could be kind of sketchy.
I might have to find. He says he's going for business. I might have to find a different business if I was going to end up in the same room as that Yahoo.
Yahoo! Hey, Obnoxious, you know what I did all day?
You went to the Future Farmers of America auction?
Well, no, that was at 6.
Okay.
Up until 5, you know what I did all day?
Sleep?
No. Let's
Shoot?
see. No. I dehorned and castrated calves. Just so you know.
So you got yourself some, Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah. You want me to bring some to you in Tulsa so you can take them back with you?
No, that's okay.
They're fresh. I mean,
That's I'll be fine.
If you cook them, I'll eat them.
Well, there you go, roll call. You can do that at Fat Guy's Burgers.
yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of them. I don't save them. My dad saved them. I don't. They're really rich tasting, and I don't really like them.
So what do you do when you dehorn them? What do you do?
So they're calves, and they have little horns sticking out, about 1.5 inches long, and they're about maybe, size of a $50 piece at the base.
You just take a grinder to them, or
No, we have these big
bandsaw?
No. Now, when they get older, we have to take saws onto them sometimes. But let me turn on my camera and I'll explain. We have these things that are dehorners, and they got like 2 wood handles here, and then they just have a hole on the end that's open, and this thing comes together, and they basically squeeze, and they're sharp, and you just cut it off right at the head, and then you take an electric dehorner, which is basically just a hot iron, and then you sear it all to get it to stop bleeding.
Sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, it's probably not real comfortable, and you usually get sprayed with blood. I mean, I had like blood all over my face, all over my clothes, everything. Covered in blood most of the day.
And
what really stinks is whenever you're standing there looking like an idiot with your mouth open, and you get sprayed right in the mouth.
What's the purpose of that? What is that? Does that just prevent them from like stabbing each other?
Basically, yeah.
And that keeps them from growing back?
Yeah, whenever you sear them, they don't grow back.
Interesting.
I'll trade you a shotgun for one of those little baby calves.
It's
That'd be a nice shotgun.
All
You
you
got enough
need.
livestock already? Lord, real call.
It's got a little farm in that garage, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. What's he going to do when that baby calf grows up to be big?
He doesn't know what he's going to do with all those freaking
Chickens when they grow up.
chickens when they grow up.
Cindy will be moved, and then the calf will live with me.
You going to sleep next to it in bed or what?
I'll make it like a little pillow, and it can lay on the side of the bed by me. It could be like a dog, you know. Yeah, you can imagine a robber coming in the house and seeing a
It'll be
Being a
twice
calf.
your size, but yeah.
You know they grow up, right?
Most places you get crazy Catwoman. In Rokal's neighborhood, they have crazy chicken and cow guy.
Crazy farm guy, yeah.
What exactly is? You live in town, right? Rokal?
Yeah, I live in town.
So what exactly is your? Because you've got what? 2 turkeys. You've got like half a dozen ducks, half a dozen chickens. Didn't you get some guinea fowl too?
Yeah, there's 5 guinea fowl, 6 ducks in one tank, and then my 5 chickens, 2 turkeys, and 2 ducks in my other tank.
So what are your plans?
You know they're going to get big enough to get out of those tanks pretty soon.
The ducks are huge. They're almost outgrowing the bigger tank that I bought, and they're going to go on the farm. They'll go on the farm and they'll hang out on the farm, and I'm going to get eggs. I guess you can use duck eggs are really good for like cooking.
You can use duck eggs just like chicken eggs. People don't even know the dang difference when you're using them.
Yeah, but I guess the duck eggs are real good for baking. Like they're really rich, so you can bake and make good stuff with it. So that's what I'll use those guys for. And then the turkeys will be for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Hopefully they'll be big enough by then. I mean, one's getting really big. He's almost the size of a duck at this point. But again, they're going to have to be moved here soon because they're flying around and they're going nuts in there. And the turkeys are jerks. They pick on everybody. They don't let anybody sleep. They're constantly flying around.
You're gonna have to build a chicken coop in your backyard.
We built a chicken coop on the farm, and that's where those guys will stay.
Now get the ducks a little pool, like a little kiddie pool. They will love it.
That's what my daughter was saying. She's like, when you put them out there, get like a kiddie pool, fill it up with water, and let them hang in there. Because the type of ducks that I have, they don't fly. If you can believe that. I don't believe it, but I guess they don't fly.
I don't know. We had ducks a bunch growing up, and they always, which Philo even said they get eaten. They do. Coyotes are real good about eating them. We get them grown and then take them to the pond and put them on the pond. They could like live at the pond, and then coyotes would end up eating them every time.
We don't have a huge coyote problem, more like a fox problem. But I got some things for those guys, so they're not gonna want to come around.
Get a goose. You need a goose. A goose will protect them too. Geese are mean.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we got the guinea fowl too, because they're pretty much like alarms. So if there's any kind of like danger, they'll start freaking out, and making their noise. I never knew those things existed.
From what I read on them is that they'll make plenty of noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't shut up.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're so loud, and even the turkeys are loud. The chickens are not so much. Only when they get riled up, the chickens will get kind of loud. But the guinea fowl, oh my god! Like they're now like the ducks and the guinea fowl are discovering that they can make noise, which is like when the kids find their hands and then find their private parts. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, but the guinea fowl are not going to shut up ever. Once they discover they can make noise, that's it. It's like a cat when a cat discovers that your remote does stuff to your TV and they got to keep playing with it.
I have the one dog because we tried to teach all of them to ring the bell when they had to go outside. So Harley learned how to ring that bell pretty quick. And then he just never laid off of it. It was like every 15 minutes he'd be in there ringing that bell to go outside.
We finally gave in and got our dogs a doggy door. It's the best investment for a lazy person you could ever do.
Ours are pretty well trained about when to go out.
Well, mine are too. They're really trained to every time the wind blows, they have to go outside and bark.
Well, Harley likes being outside, and the wife spoils him. she takes him out whenever she's doing yard work and lets him just wander around. But yeah, when we first got him and taught him that bell, man, he learned that thing was, got him some attention, and he got to go outside once he rang it, because he was still a puppy. So anytime he rang it, we were taking him out. Well, he'd just ring it to go outside.
And the bad part about doggy doors is when you find a random raccoon or possum in your kitchen because they came in through the doggy door.
Yeah, but see, my dogs aren't going to let that animal in the house.
Yeah.
That was my excuse at first with my wife, because she kept telling me, we need to get one.
Yeah, I've known people that had a doggy door and their dogs didn't care. They would just let the raccoon and possum come in. It's fun when you're staying overnight at your friend's house. You walk out into the kitchen and there's a damn raccoon there.
There's a raccoon in the kitchen.
That's as bad as my kids. Back when my kids were like little, like my son, I don't know, probably 6 or 7. He comes carrying in the house one day and sets it down on my bedroom floor, a red-eared snapping turtle. And I'm talking like not a small one, like, probably 12 inches long, something huge. Red-eared snapping turtle, and carries it in. He found it out by the creek.
Yeah, see, that's
cool.
That's what would happen here if we put in a doggy door. Is Harley would bring shit in, because he was out one time last year, and I look over and he's chewing on something. I'm like, "What are you chewing on over there?" I go over there and he's got a box turtle that he got from someplace. It was probably 6 inches in diameter. It was a decent sized box turtle, and he was chewing away at its shell. Poor thing's shell was bleeding, and so I got it away from him and took it and put it over in the woods, and it stayed where I set it for a couple hours, and then I went back and checked, and it was gone. So
our cat brought a gopher in, or not a gopher, a mole in one time.
Oh yeah, and Harley caught a possum.
Ate half of it.
Yeah, Harley caught a possum one night when I let him out to go. He caught it, and I thought he killed it because it was sitting there playing possum. And after they were all done and I got them in, I kind of took a shovel and lifted it up, and it sat there. And I lifted it up and set it on its feet, and it just sat there on all 4 feet, still playing possum. And then finally it kind of wandered off. But yeah, I'd end up with stuff in my house if we had a doggy door. Your beagle brought a live rabbit.
Yeah, it was a little bitty rabbit. She carried it in the house alive, and it was like stunned and injured. And then I think the wife or the kids took it across the road and was going to let it loose in the pasture. And our other dog, that's a half beagle, ran over there and literally swallowed the whole thing whole in like one step. It was terrifying to my kids. They were little then. It was like, what? You didn't even chew that. You just swallowed it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We had a little Yorkie years ago, and a rabbit. We had a fenced in backyard, and the rabbit had gotten into our yard and built a nest. Yeah, this little Yorkie brought a baby rabbit up to the door. My wife freaked out. I'm like, okay, so it's somewhere in our yard. So I let the Yorkie back out, and she went right there to that rabbit's nest where the rest of them were at. So,
and when we lived at the other place, we had a couple of cats that lived outside, and they were always bringing rabbits and squirrels and birds and chipmunks and stuff up and giving them to my wife, and she's like, I don't like that. And they just look at her like they were offended.
Oh, apparently this was a different rabbit that the beagle caught that she brought in is the one that got eaten, I guess. I didn't realize. I thought it was the same rabbit. I guess it's happened more than once.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I'd end up with all kinds of stuff in here. We've got the lizards, and they'll go chasing the lizards, and they'll run up the wall, and then the dogs will sit there and bark at the lizard that's 20 feet up the wall.
I just wish my dogs would learn to kill armadillos. They're like scared of armadillos, and we have a huge armadillo problem. Like,
oh yeah,
they'll dig holes in my yard or out there where I mow in the pasture and stuff, where my range is. They'll dig huge holes, and you're just driving along in the ZTR mower, and that front wheel just fall in, about throw you off the mower.
Oh, they dig.
Oh man, they dig huge holes, like the size of a fox burrow kind of thing in the ground.
Yeah. See, like I know I'll end up with either a turtle or I'll end up with lizards. May end up with a possum. I saw a skunk the other night, and I put up some motion detectors on the driveway, and I was just going to check them and see how they were doing, and I saw something just kind of wandering across the road, and I thought it was a cat until I got closer, and I'm glad he wasn't in the mood to spray me because I got close enough.
Well, word of advice, don't ever take a 20 gauge shotgun and shoot a skunk at about 15 feet, ever. I did that once when I was young. That was a huge mistake.
Yeah, I can imagine it was.
Oh,
I mean, I was like probably like 10 or 11 and did it. My dad just laughed his butt off for like a week.
Yeah, we've had dogs skunk 3 times.
My dogs have got skunked a few times.
Nothing here. It was all at our last house, and the first time it ever happened, we had some landscape lights, and I let the dogs out, and I saw something. I thought it was a corn husk blowing across the driveway or blowing across the yard as I opened the door to let the dogs out, and just as I got that door open, the dogs start running towards it. I realized what it was, and it was just like, no. and they ran to it, and the one got to it right by one of the landscape lights, and it was backlit, and it looked like a mushroom cloud. Just
That's awesome.
And oh yeah, no, it wasn't. It really wasn't.
We figured out, or no, I didn't. The wife did. She figured out you just give the dog a bath with literally everything you have, from Dawn dish soap to baking soda to peroxide, whatever's in the house, and pine salt.
Is what you're supposed to use.
We never did. I don't think we ever even tried that. I've always heard that, but we just literally put everything we had in the house on the dog, vinegar, just anything, and then somehow or another, the dogs always don't smell after that.
Candy got, after it happened the second time, she got some special wash form, and it was, but yeah, another word of advice: don't bring them in the house to wash them, because your house will smell like skunk for 6 months.
Which, when I was younger, my grandpa would always say, you just want to run over a skunk so they won't spray you. You just run over them straight from behind. They won't spray them. If you're in the pasture and you see a skunk, just run straight over them. So one day I was in the pasture and
from behind.
Yeah, but if you run over them straight from behind, they won't have time to spray you. I was in his truck one day in the pasture, took his advice, smoked one straight from behind. Yeah, his truck smelled like that for, I swear, a month, and he griped at me all the time for it.
Because they spray you from behind.
Yeah, but he's like, they don't have time to spray you from behind. You must have let him turn around. So, no. Pretty sure your expert decision is off.
Pretty sure you don't know how skunks spray.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No, it didn't work at all. But it wasn't my truck, so I was probably only like 13 or 14 then, so I just believed him at the time.
Well, that's why I'm glad that the one that we saw out here didn't, because we came up behind it, and I was on that little cart that we've got, and yeah, that could have been a bad night for the wife and I, because we were both in the cart.
If I was ever reincarnated, I would want to be a skunk, because then you make everybody stink when you're alive, and when they think they got the best of you and you die, you still stink, and you still get them.
You see your wife out there?
What about her?
She loves her beagle more than she loves you.
I know, but what's funny is her beagle likes me more than she likes her, so it's good.
The Philo, I know, is out there trying to buy mags, and Pickle's out there. Pickle, did you go out and try to buy any mags? We'll wait till you get caught up. Oh, Philo got 10 PMags and 4 Glock 33 fun sticks.
You know, it's funny. I had one Glock 33 round mag forever and never used it, like rarely. And of course, now I got this PC carbine. That's a different story, but I use it all the time now because I got that. But I mean, I guess if you live in California, yeah, you never had the chance to own it.
Yeah, now you got it. Now you got the opportunity, and
Mm-hmm.
might as well get them. So, I wonder if we can get the. Since California seems to be doing so well, what do you think? You think we should have them move that bump stock case out to California?
Yeah, might do better.
I can't believe that. And there we go. Here, we'll switch this since I think Sarge has gone to bed. Well, there we go. There's the Donald out there. That's what's happening to all your bump stocks. The ones that aren't getting craned into an industrial shredder. They're burning right there on the White House lawn, the White House driveway.
You know, we were actually talking about that at lunch today. My grandma and grandpa and stuff. Of course, all they do is watch the news, and they're in their 90s, but that's all they do is watch the news, you know. So they get the regular quality news, but they were talking about the bump stocks, and my grandpa's kind of one of these people. Well, me and him had a huge argument a few years ago about AR-15s because, well, ain't nobody needs that high-powered rifle and all this. It's like, you know, and he's got an old 30-06. I was like, you do realize that that's a 223, right? And he's like, well, no, it's a high-powered rifle. So I took mine up there and showed him the bullet of the shell for it. He's like, huh. So they've kind of came to the decision that the news does lie about guns because I argue it all the time with them. But anyways, today he's like, yeah, I'd like to know how many of them idiots turned them bump stocks in. He said, he was just, you know, going off on it. And I really expected him to say, hey, nobody needs no stupid, you know, nothing to make it body like a machine gun. He was just going off that dumbest thing in the world to make somebody turn in something they bought. I thought that's kind of funny that at least, you know, and he's not anti-gun by any means. He just doesn't understand, you know, and he's, you know, a 90-year-old that's set in his ways kind of deal. But at the same time, he shot my AR and was like, oh, man, that's a great. I wish I'd have had one of them years ago. You know, he's always shot coyotes and stuff. But
yeah, they're fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're soft shooting and easy to get back. Get on target and keep on target. And
I offered it after he shot that one. I offered him one. I was like, "You want one? I'll build you one. No big deal." No. I'll just use my. He just carries his 22, his little Marlin 60 in his pickup all the time, shoot coyotes or whatever with in the pasture.
Those are fun too.
Yeah. But he's literally 92 and still, you know, works every day. Has to go out, do cattle. He was out there with us half the day today, and he finally got tired and gave up and went to the house.
Well, maybe that's what's keeping him alive. Is the purpose, you know. I mean, there's something good to be said about them. My mom sold Avon up until she was past 90 years old too. She didn't have to, but she didn't want to stay in the house and just sit there. She wanted to be out among people and doing.
Oh no! Well, you see, my grandpa thinks he has to because he thinks me and my dad can't do anything right whatsoever. So he's got to be out there to tell us everything we're doing wrong.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys just want to? Glenn Tech's talking about the quote unquote loophole to get around the ban, and both of those decisions that came down were only for the plaintiff. They were not for that whole group. So they were only for that plaintiff. So that is not a loophole. Those decisions came down for that plaintiff. Now you could possibly, I'm not a lawyer. I don't even play one on TV, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night. So, but I'm gonna tell you right now that you might be able to have some kind of standing with that it's come down for certain people, that it should apply to everybody because it should. but I wouldn't take those chances.
If you read the wording of the decision, at least one of the versions I saw said that the plaintiffs of this suit, which the FPC was one of the plaintiffs in the suit. So basically, it can be argued that it applies to all FPC members.
Yeah, but they can also be.
Which I'm an FPC member.
Yeah, but it may not apply to all FPC members depending on how the wording is written. If you join retroactive to the stay being put in place, it may not apply to you. It may only apply to those that were members of the FPC before the ruling was made.
Okay, and he's saying that FPC has actually come out and said that, which I haven't seen. But I had originally seen,
and I've been a member for a couple months. So.
Yeah, always read the ruling for yourself. Don't go by what somebody else is telling you because they may have misinterpreted it. Always read it for yourself before determining whether you want to take that chance or not.
Or just say, screw it, I do what I want, and
Which I'm so disappointed that the Supreme Court didn't stand up.
Especially with there being 3 different decisions on the matter.
Yeah, at least make a stay on it. I mean,
exactly.
If you let it stand for till they hear it.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to have them. If you still have yours, you are a felon. So they let up to 500,000 law-abiding Americans become felons because they didn't turn them in.
Well, they're not technically becoming felons; they're just committing a felony. You only become it if you're convicted. So.
No.
Can't wait till the first time one of those cases goes to court.
Well, if I had Yankee money, I'd be standing up there. But I don't have Yankee money. Speaking of which, I saw he did a video yesterday and did another one, and then did a response to his own video today, which I haven't watched. But
I saw today's video.
I watched yesterday's, and I got to admit, it's get it. You guys all know because you're making content as well. And it's tough to get in front of that camera sometimes. And when you've got something like that where you're definitely something that's visible, and he's still getting on there and making videos.
As much as I don't care for a lot of the guy's opinions, I gotta give him props for doing that.
Yep, and I'll give him props for doing that. And I'll give him props for the two-way stuff he does.
Yeah.
Now, what did he do? I must have missed all this.
He made a video earlier this week, and I noticed that his right eye was blinking a lot. But I've also seen him talk about that, where when he gets tired, his eye starts blinking. So I didn't think anything of it, and I didn't notice anything else. But that whole comment section was telling him to get to a doctor, and he went to the doctor, and somebody had said it was Bell's palsy. He'd had an episode of Bell's palsy, but if you watch the one he made yesterday, and then I'm assuming the one he made today as well, it's gonna show. Yeah, the whole left side of his face is drooping.
Didn't know anything about it.
So, and yeah, he'd made a video, just a voiceover, a couple days ago after he got out of the hospital, and said that he's got 3 to 6 months of recovery. So I don't know what I would imagine. You got to have some kind of therapy or something. I don't know what it is, but to get back on camera right there, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I'd get back on camera and do it, but I also don't have 300,000 subs, so there's that. Is it just midnight? Is it just the meds? I would think there'd have to be.
Well, we have this wonderful thing in front of us called the internet. Let's just
Yeah.
I don't know that much about it.
I don't even know how to spell it, but I'm hoping it'll come up.
BELLS. Palsy.
Yeah. Actually,
Pickle says he had it.
Well, he's an expert then. Just explain it to us. I don't have to Google it.
He said the antiviral meds make it go away.
Treatment. Steroids, antivirals, physiotherapy, surgery, and alternative medicine. So you can have acupuncture. That'll help it.
Yeah, sure it will.
Mm-hmm. That's what it says.
Pickle palsy. Hey, forklift guy joined us. How you doing, forklift guy?
He's doing that good.
I agree.
I don't know how well my reception is out here.
That's right. You're traveling.
You know, round in circles. Yeah, I heard there was a dumpster fire, so I thought I'd just come watch the, drama, and somebody try to put it out, get a couple buckets of something, and dump it on it.
And dump your bump stocks on there. That's what's keeping Trump and Pence warm here.
Well, plastic, it's hard to ignite, but once you get it burning, it's really hard to put out. So.
Oh yeah. It'll keep
and
going.
It really stinks. So I accidentally closed the wrong window when I was trying to close the Bell's palsy window.
So it's like
the wrong egg.
So you pulled a Patriot in the dark?
Yeah, I was trying that.
How not to use Google Hangout.
Well, they put that X on the wrong side. I thought it should be on the left side, not on the right side.
Andrew Faulkner says Midnight has balls palsy. What are you talking about out there, kid? Ethical kill on chasing your cows. What were you talking about?
Calaveras asked me if a Model 60 would, what did he say? Drop it in the tracks or die eventually? Because he said something about it wasn't.
Depends on where you hit it.
He said it wasn't. You'll just wound a coyote, not drop one. I told him that I've killed many dogs and coyotes with 22s, no problem.
Yeah, who cares?
He said I said, I don't care if it's ethical or not. They're chasing my cows. They're dead. I don't care if they bleed out in a week. I don't care.
Man, coyotes are vermin. Who gives a shit?
That's kind of my opinion. I mean, if it wasn't chasing my cows, I'd, feel bad. But they're not being ethical when they get a cow hung in a fence, and you have to end up shooting the cow because they tore their whole hip up or something.
Yeah, because that's money right out of your.
Yeah. And you're not just talking the cost of the cow. That's calves you won't have for years to come and everything. So, yeah, I don't really care about them.
Yeah, that's pricey if you lose a cow, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hopefully, because we know California's they're gonna end up appealing that, and it'll go. But
yeah, they probably already filed the appeal.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure they had it all queued up and ready to go. But
oh yeah,
for now, Californians got a little bit of freedom, which is. It's got to be like a huge win for them, at least.
Yeah, it's like the I don't know. It might be. It's kind of like if you're on death row and you get that brief stay. You can,
but you're still on death row. Well, if you're on death row in California, it's been you've got a stay there too. So that was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm just talking in general. Like if you're on death row and while your appeal's going through, they give you that brief 5-day stay so you can breathe 5 days more.
Thank you, Snob. I see that.
Just trying to help out the good fight.
Oh yeah, people are taking selfies with coyotes. Oh my god,
what dumb is that?
What the hell, people?
I think it was Andrew earlier said I was drinking Pepsi Clear.
Pepsi Clear.
It's not Pepsi Clear.
It's Mountain Dew Ghost.
It's Mountain Dew. Yeah, Mountain Dew Ghost.
Mountain Dew Ghost. Oh, people taking selfies with coyotes. Jesus Christ. I had one years ago. I went out to have a cigarette on the back deck, and the back of our house was like half exposed on the basement, so the deck was up high. And I went to sit on the stairs and lit up my cigarette, and then I looked down, and there's a freaking coyote sitting 10 feet off the bottom of those stairs staring at me. That's a that's a freaky feeling.
Did you shoot him?
No, because we're in a subdivision. I don't even. Yeah, I had them. I had them, but I wasn't carrying. And we were in a subdivision, so yeah, I'd had some splaining to do. I'm sure.
It was trying to attack you.
It's coming right for us. Especially because that was we still had the little Yorkie at the time, so it wasn't. I'm glad I was the only one going outside and not her, because she'd have gone after it, because those little dogs, they don't know they're little.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we had a dog that chased a coyote. They'd go out there and they'd chase them. I mean, we have coyotes pretty thick around here and stuff, but that dog would chase them as far as you could see it. And as long as you could see that dog was chasing it. Well, the second that dog got out of view, the coyote would chase that dog back, and that dog would the whole way back to the house like it was dead. But it thought it was somebody whenever it was headed there.
We had a cat that would chase black bear.
You had what?
A cat that would chase black bear.
Oh, Jesus.
You look out your window next, and you're like, "What the hell?" And there's the cat chasing a black bear across our yard.
You ever seen that video of that cat swatting the gator?
Oh.
It's at something down in Florida. I think it was Florida. And this cat is sitting there, and I mean, they're on the canal, and the gator's just kind of moving up to that cat, and the cat just swats at the gator, and the gator took off. But we used to have a bunch of coyotes at our last house. You'd hear them. I saw one walking down the road one time. Same thing. I went out to have a cigarette, and there went this coyote, just walking down the road. Just don't mind me. I'm just out here doing coyote stuff.
Hey, roll call, are you on here still? Are you alive?
Yeah, I was watching the end of the Cubs game. Sorry.
Oh, I thought he was watching Larry the Duck.
Don't you have an LC9, the old LC9?
Yeah, I do.
The gun-toting pacifist is posting out there on chat. He's trying to find a hammer-fired LC9. It's like, I think I know somebody who has one. So he says he can't find one anywhere.
They don't. I don't know. I don't think they make that version of it anymore, because they have the EC9 and the LC9S.
Right.
But I think all those are all hammer-fired as well.
The LC9S is not. No.
Neither one. Both of those are striker fired.
Yeah, that's what the S stands for, is striker.
Are they're all striker fired?
The LC9S and the EC9S are all striker fired.
Yeah, the original LC9 was hammer fired. The LC9S and the EC9S are both striker.
There you go.
I'm willing to bet that if the gun-toting pacifist took a road trip next weekend, he could probably find one.
Oh, I'll bet he could.
And if not, you can darn sure find something else you like better, anyways.
Yeah, what? How many thousands of tables are in there?
It's like 4,500 tables.
Yeah, well, it was 45, 42 or 45.
Pretty
like
good.
That. It's good for a new summer gun. You definitely want hammer. You would definitely want hammer fired because that P360.
Does caliber matter? Because you guys go with Shield EZ. That's a hammer. It's an internal hammer fire. That's hammer fired. A lot of the smaller pistols anymore, other than like the SIG, are going to be striker fired.
Yep, Glimtech found him one, I think. On the arms list.
Sure, Hunter. $300.
That's not bad.
And I don't know why I said sure, Hunter. I meant sure enough. And I was reading that at the same time.
Sure enough.
Pro faux show. Speaking of pro faux show, all these this skeet competition that you got, I bet all those kids are going to be wearing some pro faux show.
They probably will be. No, because he'll pick the ones that are really good at it, and they're the ones that have their own personal ones. So.
Oh, they've got their own personal.
I'm sure. I'm sure he ain't going to pick the terrible kids at it.
Well, there's only one way the turbo ones are going to get better, and that's
exactly shoot against the adults.
That's right.
So me and Corey, and I'm trying to find some more adults that are better than us at shooting skeet.
Gonna say I'd be darn lucky to hit one.
What is the difference between skeet and trap?
The way, so I think this is actually trap is what we're going to do. Maybe even sporting clays. I don't know which one he's going to do it as.
There's skeet, trap, and sporting clays.
Yeah, and it's a difference in how they're thrown and directions and all that. And if you were asking me, I couldn't tell you. You could ask my son, and he could explain it, but I have no clue. I kind of do, but not enough to say it live on air as a fact because I'd be lying.
Oh, no, not you.
I don't lie. I tell you I'm an idiot all the time.
Pickle says it's the rules. It's always the rules.
Mm-hmm. It's the difference in distances and directions and where the houses are compared to where you are and stuff like that.
See, I did a lit. Oh, we lost forklift guy. He's in a black hole. But I did a little bit of one of those three years ago. I'm not sure which one. I only did it a couple times, so I can't tell you what it was or what the difference is in them. But I was hoping you could drop some knowledge on us and give some learning, but nope.
Not for me.
What, Glimtech has his own Ruger rep?
Man. I'm jealous.
Me too. I want a Ruger rep.
No, I need that little tool. Get me the little tool.
The little girl? How much for the little girl?
I think I should have a high point rep. I think I should take my high point to NRA and just take it in their booth and show it to them.
I'm sorry, NRA? You mean NRA?
Yeah, NRAM. I should take that there and just carry it in their booth and show it to them.
Except you can't carry a gun in there.
Yeah, you can.
Can you?
Oh, yeah. You can carry it in NRA.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Open carry, concealed, whatever. Whatever's legal in that state. You just can't where the president was last year, you know, anytime he's been there, because the part of it that he's in, Secret Service takes over security.
Yeah.
Is he going to speak at this year's again?
I don't know.
He's spoken the last two. He'd be awfully brave.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's got any idea. He's doing what Nura told him was okay to do.
Yeah, I don't really have much good to say about either one of them.
Gary, it's 4D night baseball underwater chess.
Right.
I mean, would I love to have to eat every word I've said about them and their bump stocks? Yeah, I think it'd be awesome if come to find out they really knew what they were doing. All this gets thrown out. But Ben's the deadline already passed. I'm kind of saying it's not.
I'm not counting on them to have my back for gun rights. Let's put it that way.
And are they part of any of the 3 different lawsuits that are going on?
No,
not that I'm aware of.
There you go.
They'll put the news out and stuff like that, but they won't do anything about it.
Now, in their defense, they do still do a lot on our basic gun rights. They're just not doing a very good job at the real ones.
Yeah, but that's the point, though.
Yeah. They claim they were involved in the California magazine thing, so, you know, I don't know who's actually listed as being.
I think they put a bunch of money into that.
Yeah, that's what they're claiming anyway. When they put out their news story earlier on that.
Well, love them or hate them, we still have to have them as of right now.
I'm just saying, really, you just can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't just ignore a certain part of the gun community and say, well, these people, we don't worry about them. You worry about everybody.
Oh, I completely agree. But at the same time, I'm just saying that they still are. They're our biggest voice right now because Lord knows the other ones ain't.
Yeah, well, I'm going to throw money at the others, too. How about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's my opinion, too. I'm definitely throwing money at the others, but I'm still keeping my membership at the NRA. They ain't getting no money from me for the 800 things I get a month asking for donations.
Yeah. Nope, ain't happening.
But I'm still going to keep my membership with them, and maybe someday they'll, you know, do a little more on what I agree with. But I think whenever it comes down to it, they'll be our biggest player. If it came down to a true 30-round magazine ban nationwide or anything like that, they would be our best bet.
But if our Second Amendment's going to get saved, it ain't going to be the NRA saving it.
No.
They'll take the credit for it, but it ain't going to be them doing the grunt work.
Now, has anybody seen this? I'm gonna screen share here. Let's see. We'll present screen share. Has anybody seen this? An illustrated guide to gun control.
Oh yeah, the birthday cake
with the cake.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I've done with pie and pizzas and stuff before too.
Well, and this one is, you know, they go through and they talk about each of the different bills. Like here you got, you know, before everything, you've got a nice cake with gun rights written across the top and lovely floral icing. So not just icing. And then, you know, somebody came along and said, give me that cake.
Yeah.
But it's my cake.
Yeah,
Well,
Glenn Beck did this years ago on his show. He had an actual cake on set where he was cutting away pieces of cake.
Yeah. Was that before or after he went full hog on Sarah Palin?
I believe that was on the Blaze Network when it was when he first started the Blaze Network, and his show was on there instead of being on Fox anymore. That was that was a few years ago when he did it.
See, I like Glenn back before he was ever on TV, and he was just a radio show host. I literally seen him 2 different years for a Christmas thing in Oklahoma City. We drove to Oklahoma City to watch him.
I guess I never knew he had a radio show before.
Wait, that's what he was. He was a radio host.
Yeah.
Originally, he was a disc jockey.
Yeah. And then he became a conservative talk radio host, and I really liked him then. But then when he got all that 2008 stuff and stuff. It just got kind of out there.
Back when Rush Limbaugh first came on the air, I really loved him too, and then he totally went plumb nuts. But
let's see, Philo says NRA, and well, going back to the comic here was, they mentioned here that you got the National Firearms Act of 34, which is, your first half of cake that you lose, and then they come back and want more, and that's 1968, and you lose another half of your half, and then they come back and what we've got, they don't even go into you got Clinton executive orders. We don't have the Altenburg Act, HUD, Smith and Wesson Agreement, Brady Law, School Safety, Law Enforcement Improvement Act. We got crumbs. And now they got the bump stocks, and you've got the magazine bans, and you got everything else. Yeah, I liked that one when I first saw it, because that really did a good job of explaining everything as it went along. But Philo saying they've got a separate branch. Is it just the California State Rifle Association? Because if you've got one in California that's doing better work, then that's a lot different than what we had in Illinois, because Illinois was they were straight offshoot of the NRA.
Well, see, our Oklahoma Rifle Association, which is the arm of the NRA, is terrible. I mean, I don't even think they even hardly exist right now. But they went against the NRA even on the constitutional carry. They went against what the NRA was trying to push for, and that's one thing the NRA did do. They sent out emails both times we had it go up. We were getting alerts all the time in Oklahoma, call, and giving you all the information to get a hold of your senators, governor, everything. But the Oklahoma Rifle Association was against constitutional carry, if that makes any sense. So I would never give them a penny of my money ever.
That was the same thing with the Illinois State Rifle Association. Is they went and sat down at the table when Illinois had to pass concealed carry. They're the ones that went and sat down at the table with all the Chicago Democrats and gave us all the, the 16 hours of training and the live fire qualification and a 90-day wait to get it approved. Or I'm sorry, it was 120 days. It was 90 if you had your electronic fingerprints done. They don't honor any other state. You basically cannot get an out-of-state permit, but if you can, it was going to be $300 versus the $150.
Yeah, there was only like 4 states that Illinois was issuing the out-of-state permit holders to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there was the no carrying, nothing on public transport, home rule. Municipalities had 10 days after the bill was officially live that they could enact whatever ban. But then they say, well, we got statewide preemption, except for, Cook County, every city and village in Cook County, everybody that's home rule municipality. There's still assault weapons bans in Illinois, and they're claiming that they got statewide preemption and magazine restrictions in Cook County.
Well, it's statewide. It's not state north of height. See, that's where you're going wrong. If you go east to west, yeah, but if you go north to south, then it's different.
Well, yeah, because
they didn't say state tall; they said statewide.
Statewide, yeah, yeah, because everything basically south of I-80 is a different state as far as as far as guns. You get south of I-80, and you've got Democrats that support guns in Illinois because it's all farmland down there. It's all people that grew up with them and use them all the time. And if you were towing the regular Democratic line, you wouldn't be able to get elected. Yeah, Andrew, if they're ex state, whatever state rifle association, yeah, they would be part of the it'd be the state branch of the NRA.
Well, I just found it funny in Oklahoma that they literally went against the NRA pushing for constitutional carry, and they went against it. That just amazed me.
What was their reasoning for going against constitutional
I'd have to
carry?
go back and read everything, but most of it was that we needed training and background checks.
And probably everything that the idiot governor that was there before vetoed it.
No, the reason I'll tell you why she vetoed it. I can guarantee you why. Because OSBI was very anti-constitutional carry, and the reason OSBI was because it's a huge moneymaker for them to have permits.
Yeah,
but most people will keep their permits. I mean, most people I know that have them are going to keep them. I'll keep mine just because of reciprocity reasons.
Yeah.
And if they would, and I really need to get on the ball and try to start talking to some people about getting it fixed where our permit does away with the NICS check, like most states, because that would get even more people involved. And I think that would be nothing to get, fixed in the process of this, because even the people that are against constitutional carry would say, well, yeah, that'll cause more people to, in my head anyways, that would cause more people to want to get the training and the permit just to bypass having to deal with the NICS check every time.
I don't understand what the big deal is about bypassing the NICS check. I mean, we do here if you got your permit, but I don't understand the big deal about it, because unless I guess if you're somebody who got delayed all the time,
that's where my deal is, because I get delayed so often.
Yeah, and depending on where you live and stuff, it takes longer to go through the NICS check.
I mean, our NICS check, if I don't get delayed, which it always researches, every time it does the researching, but I'm usually done in 5 minutes. Yeah, but I may get delayed and be that evening or the next day or 2 days.
Yeah, that's about what I get. It's like 5 minutes. It's like, I never get delayed either. So.
Okay. Oh, I do.
Well, then that's what it is, because I've never been delayed. I mean,
yeah. You know, when I got delayed the first time,
it didn't matter in Illinois, because I had to wait 3 days anyway. So,
when the first time I got delayed was, no joke, about a month after I told somebody I've never been delayed. Just saying. You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, now I don't have it because they don't run it because our concealed carry permit.
And if you got your gun shop does it the NICS check by computer, it's even faster than if they have to call it in over the phone, because you don't have to wait for an operator to open depending on how busy they are. Just the computerized ones are that fast.
Yeah, but guess what? My local gun shop does it over the phone. Never have I ever got delayed there. The only ones I've ever got delayed on are the ones that are on computers. I don't know why. It may just be a coincidence.
Gonna say the old gun shop I used to go to that always called them in, I could get in and out of there in 10, 15 minutes. And the rest of them, I've waited 20, 30 minutes sometimes before I got my concealed carry permit. Now I don't wait anymore. But,
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest though, I hate the ones on computers when they hand you the iPad, because some reason I always screw something up, and it's just. Of course, I'm sure they are glad to have it, because they can't read my writing on the 4473 when I have to fill it out.
Yeah, try signing your name with your finger on those things.
Yeah,
joke.
Yeah, the one gun shop here, one of them, if they do the paper 4473 still, but then they do the NICS check on their computer, it's extremely fast. It's like 30 seconds and you're approved.
I'll tell you right now, I had a guy come in around 8:28 he started his paperwork. I didn't get done with his background check until almost 9:30, and that was done on a computer. So it depends. It's not always faster. I've sat in front of that computer for 5 minutes. I've sat in front of that computer for 20 minutes. I've sat there for almost an hour.
Yeah, but that's because roll call falls asleep while he's sitting there. It's like,
does the store have the same internet you've got there in the basement?
Yeah, they got better internet than me.
You know, one thing that kind of aggravated me, I bought my Glock 42 that my wife stole. Anyways, at a different.
You mean the blue one?
Yeah.
Robin's egg blue one?
Blue. Yeah. But anyways, I bought that at a different pawn shop than I normally ever buy anything from. It's the first time I ever bought a gun at that. It's a national branch, Cash America or whatever was the branch. But it was weird. They had you went through there and had to fill out a form on there, and it was all on the computer. But they made you go through and fill out a form that wasn't the 4473. That was like their own personal thing. I don't know.
Really?
It was just strange. Yeah. It was like you filled this thing out, and then you filled out your 4473 on there. I was like, that's weird. I kind of questioned about it. And of course, the people that work there, knew absolutely zero.
I just work here, dude.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Now, see, I didn't even get delayed when we moved down here. I couldn't buy a pistol because I hadn't been down here long enough, and I didn't have my concealed carry permit. But I could buy long guns, and I didn't get delayed on any of those. Of course, they were. Let's see, one of them was a Mosin, one of them was an SKS, the Lee Enfield. So that might have something to do with it. All those 60 and 80-year-old guns, I guess they didn't figure you needed to get delayed on those.
Sure. And I actually checked into getting a U-pin because I'd about decided I was going to get one. Mm-hmm. Well, now I hear it's a 2 to 3 year wait to get one. That's what I've been. Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it literally just because they're so far behind with them, I guess.
Well, that's because Trump put in these bump stock things. The guys that do the U-pin things now have to go around looking for bump stock.
Yeah. No, this was before that, but yeah. Well, I guess it wasn't necessarily before that, but it was in December when I was talking about it. So.
Okay, it's all the idiots writing in letters about whether you can put a pistol brace on a certain firearm or not.
Probably.
Because it hasn't been explained to death already. You still get idiots writing letters to them about it.
Doesn't matter. They can just, on a whim, decide to change their mind.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and why everybody should be screaming about these bump stocks. The Echo triggers, the Franklin Armory binary triggers, the braces.
I had a question for Andrew. When did you do that? I'm seriously questioning. Because I've been hearing that from all sorts of places and on there. So if it's that quick, I'll do it. See, Jason said 2 years, and Faulkner said it only took him 3 weeks. And that's what I've been hearing is like 2 to 3 years. He said last year. I don't know. I guess I could do it. It ain't going to matter. If I do it now and it takes 2 years, I may have it and whatever.
Yeah. Is there a fee for the U-pin?
Don't think so.
What am I thinking? It's the government. Of course, there's a fee for the.
I really don't think there is. I think it's free.
I think it's free.
I never saw anywhere where it said a fee, and I think they say it's free. It's a unique personal identification number. So basically, it just keeps them from getting you confused with someone that say your name's Rich White, and there's another Rich White that's a felon. That one is, it's not a guarantee. It's just more likely you won't. Say the other Rich White's a felon, and he happens to be born within a few days of you. It helps. And I don't understand why you even need it because you have a Social Security number. and I put my social security number on my 4473. So it makes no sense. It's just basically another social security number.
Well,
it really makes no sense.
Your social security number can get stolen too. This cannot get stolen unless you let it get stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. You don't put this on anything else. You know, your social security number. You put it on other documentation, where then it can get stolen. This number is hooked directly to you. So every time you buy a gun, even if your name is kind of similar or the same as someone else, this number will pop up and it will automatically separate you from the non-person that's supposed to get it or whoever's hooked in that aspect.
Have you ever seen anyone with a U-pin get delayed? Real call.
I have seen a guy. He came in and bought a gun, and he got. That's why he got a U-pin, because his dad, he was a junior and his dad was a senior, and his dad couldn't own firearms, so he would always get delayed. But he said ever since he got his U-pin number, it takes like 4 or 5 minutes, and then they give him his proceed. So it's worth it if you get delayed all the time, or you got, like his case, you got family members with the same name or junior or senior hooked to it, then it'll bypass all that, because that number is specifically tied to your name, nobody else's. So nobody else can be like, oh, I'm gonna use his name, you know, because I've seen that before, where somebody's told me a story about, you know, their brother has, you know, they kind of look similar, try to use their IDs and shit. So that will like eliminate a lot of the hassle for you. So I highly recommend it to everybody that gets delayed, you know, and then, you know, they have to wait a week almost to get their shit, you know.
Only one time have I ever had to wait more than just a few hours, and that was when I got the PC carbine, and that was probably because it was Black Friday. But most of the time, it's literally I'll buy it in like Owasso, and I'll get home, which is 45 minutes away, and they'll call about the time I drive in the driveway and say, hey, you can come pick it up. It's like, crap. Turn around right back, or I'll be back tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I always advise people. I know there's good deals on Black Fridays for firearms, but it's a good day because you get a good deal, but it's the worst day because you can get delayed real quick on that. Just because, you know, everybody's using that system and guns are so cheap, everybody's buying them. You know, so
which is
I steer clear from it.
Yeah, which is not the end of the world to me. I'm a tightwad, so I'll gladly wait if I have to. It's not the end of the world. It's just frustrating to me. An Alaskan AK guy in Oklahoma, our concealed carry license only resets every 30 days or whatever, or only rechecks or whatever every 30 days. So therefore, it is not honored to bypass the NICS background check. It has to do it every 24 hours to bypass the NICS background check. So it doesn't do anything for it in Oklahoma. It makes absolutely no difference. And that's something I'd like to see get changed in Oklahoma. That'd be the simplest fix for it for me.
Or you can just go get your U-pin and get, you know, yourself on one more government list.
Exactly.
And Glenn saying he has seen people get delayed with a U-pin. So, you know.
No, I'm sure there have been, but most anybody I've talked to that's an FFL says, you know, we've never seen anyone get delayed. And I'm sure there are people, and I know it's possible. It's just.
Let's see, we can tinfoil hat it here. You go get your U-pin, get yourself on that list. Then you go get your TSA pre-check, get yourself on that list. Then you get the, well, I guess you wouldn't need to get the other TSA thing, whatever it is that they're calling it. Then you make sure you go out and get yourself a DNA test from like 8 different companies and get on those.
See, I'm just not a person that really, the whole list thing, I tend, you know, it's just nothing to me. It's pointless. You're already on a list. If you're born in the United States, I'm pretty sure you're on a list.
You're on enough. You're on enough lists. But yeah, that TSA pre-check, that's an interesting thing, that because my wife, when she was traveling so much, she went and got it, and they don't advertise it, and you have to know about it. And because she got it, you know, she was traveling so much.
Have that.
She was traveling so much for work that work got her, and you have to make an appointment, and you go into some unmarked building in an unmarked office, and she said you walk in, and there's a desk and a chair and then a door, and the people come out from that door and do your little interview and everything, and then they go back and send you on your way, and then you find out whether you got it or not. So that's a little strange. At least it struck me as strange that, it was all hush hush and secretive. Alaskan, that's too hot. He was supposed to be on the panel tonight. I did not. Nobody told me. Too Hotty usually shows up, but he didn't show up. And Sarge is still out there chatting and not in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that commented said that people with CCW are more trustworthy to sell. But what are people going to do if constitutional carry becomes nationwide? Now, we all know somebody who won't sell to anybody that doesn't have their pistol purchase permit or their concealed carry license. But that's personal choice, and that's a choice you'd have to make.
Well, I'm a bigot, racist, whatever you want to call me. I'm not really, but I'm going to say that. And if you look like a decent person, I'll sell it to you. If you look like a turd, I'm probably going to say, I think I changed my mind. And it's just, I've actually never ran into anyone that I thought was just a turd trying to buy a gun for me on arms list, and I've sold a lot or traded a lot. I usually trade. I don't really ever sell unless it's just somebody offers me money for something I've got for trade, and then I go buy something different. But
I'll give you $20 for that High Point.
I'll give you 15. Oh wait, no, that's not right.
You got to throw in the Crown Royal bag. Yeah.
Jeez, that's $2 right there.
All right, I'll give you 22 if you're going to throw in the Crown Royal bag.
$22.50.
Well, if constitutional carry went nationwide, then yeah, you're going to have to make the choice on whether you want to sell to that person or not, and you're going to do whatever it takes to make you feel safe selling that person. If that means getting, asking them to see their license and getting that number or whatever, then that's up to you. And if somebody balks at it, then don't sell it to them. There'll be plenty of other people come along. If you're selling one, there'll be plenty of people coming along to buy one. I've never seen anybody, sell a gun for a reasonable price that had trouble selling that gun to anybody. And the people that you don't want to sell to aren't going to be coming to you to buy that gun anyway. They're not going to be coming paying, fair price on a gun when they can get one cheaper on the black market.
I mean, if I don't have any reason to believe they're a turd, then I'm just not concerned with it. So I'm selling it to them because it's perfectly legal on my part if I have no reason to believe that they are doing anything nefarious with it. That's
basically it, yeah. If you know they shouldn't have a gun, you can't legally sell it to them. That's the way it's supposed to be.
I mean, just because somebody lies to me, I'm, okay, well, I guess I screwed up, but it's not my fault, and I can't be held liable for it in our state. So,
the guy that comments a straw purchase is when somebody is trying to avoid the paperwork. So if they can be perfectly legal to own guns, but let's say I want I want a certain gun, and I give Snob the money to go buy that gun because I don't want my name on the 4473. That's a straw purchase. You're looking to avoid the paperwork. Or you don't want your name on that gun. That's a straw purchase. No, that's not to say that Snob can't go buy a gun and decide he doesn't like it and then sell it to me because he's buying it in the first place for him.
Or he can buy a gun and give it to his wife or give it to...
Yep.
Well, and I did some reading on that since we were talking about that sometime back about the husband-wife deal. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. If you read on like ATF website and stuff, you can read about that. And there's a little more to it when it's husband and wife, like that it's not a straw purchase if my wife goes and picks it up for me, basically. If I send her to go pick up the gun, because we are husband and wife living in the same household and neither one of us are prohibited people.
Yeah.
Because I have sent my wife because I'm busy or don't have time to get to the gun store. I like, go pick me up this gun. It's on sale at Gander Mountain right now, in times past.
Heck yeah.
My wife has never bought a gun. Anything that she's ever shot or that she's ever used is one that I went and bought for her. But
I just wouldn't want somebody else buying a gun for me because I want to look it over before I fork over the money.
Well, if you're buying one brand new,
I bought brand new guns that had scratches on them. I've seen them before, and I've turned them down Tuesday to get another one.
Yeah, I guess. And then you get the one like Boomer got. That was
oh God, yeah.
And I guess the only time I ever had her go pick me up a gun because I was busy was my Ruger American bolt action rifle, and it was just because it was on sale, and I was literally didn't have time to go get it.
I've never understood why people would want to straw purchase a gun. I mean, put yourself in that spot, And I've had people that come in and try and straw purchase, and you explain it to them, and then when you tell them, well, when you fill out this paperwork and you put your name on there, that if that gun does anything that it's not supposed to do, they don't go looking for the person that used that gun. They come looking for you. So why would you put yourself at risk and at the mercy of someone else who is going to probably do something bad with it? Why would you put yourself in that situation? I've never understood people that straw purchase. I mean, maybe they just don't give a shit about their life. But, I mean, are you that? I guess people are that naive and that selfish to do that kind of stuff.
Or you've got, the one guy that's got a clean background who can buy them and, but everybody else has got. So, I mean, first they got to track down the gun, and then they gotta run the serial number and get it through. So
then they have to go to the FFL, pull the 4473.
Yep, Midnight's upset at you, Snub.
Yeah.
Too busy to buy all these guns. See, I'm never too busy to go buy all those guns. Midnight, so
I'd find time.
Does that make you feel better? I've always found the time to go out and buy all those guns, especially when I had to go buy that 5903 to get the better grips to put on my CHP gun.
It usually takes 3 or 4 visits to the gun shop before I finally commit to buying it. So I may have to go several times to buy the one gun.
Really?
Shoot, not me. If I wait, I won't buy it.
Well, a lot of times I decide I want it and then I can't find it. Now there have been times I've been in the store and saw the thing and decided right then and there, yeah, I want that. Now that's happened many times.
On straw purchases, I got a real quick story on that. So my wife wanted their shield. She'd shot our friend's shield and really liked it. So we go to gun shop, the cheapest one I found that had it, just a local pawn shop in Claremont. And she's going to get it, and she hands it to me, and I look at it, after they pull it out to Night Rich.
Night Rich.
Night Rich.
Feel better.
Guys, later.
Hope you feel better, man.
Yeah, get better.
See you later, Rich.
But anyway, so I look at the said gun, I'm like, yeah, it looks good. It's nice. And it was a brand new shield. I wasn't worried about it, really. But she just wanted me to look at it before she did it. And then, so she fills out her paperwork and stuff, and they looked at me like it was, me wanting a gun and her buying it. And I thought about it afterwards. I was like, that kind of probably did look bad. But it was literally, that was her carry gun. So I just, she filled out the paperwork. She paid for it. It was her deal. But, and I swear they looked at me like they thought it was, her buying it for me or something.
Well, is it a place you go normally, or?
No, not a lot. I mean, I go there, just not like, it's not my normal everyday gun shop where they know you by name when you walk in the door. It's one that I go to once every 2 or 3 months, and I bought like 2 guns there in my life.
Mm. Well, they obviously didn't feel it was too fishy because they sold it to her.
Or they just didn't care and wanted the money. I don't know. I'm sure they didn't feel it was. They just kind of looked at me at first like it was kind of like that. And, it wasn't. They didn't say anything or anything, but it just kind of felt that way. But, I mean, it was all legit. So
I have actually been at Gat Guns one time, which was a big one up there by where we lived. And I actually was at the counter one time, and they sent 2 guys packing. They're like, he's pointing at the ones that he wants you to look at. They're like, no, you can go.
And I'd see that more, but husband and wife at the same time. There's kind of some, there's more to that. I guess there could have been husband and husband there too nowadays. Gotta forget, I can't be that way, but I mean, there's more to that because a lot of husbands think they need to help their wives pick out guns or stuff, even though they don't. You know what I mean?
I've shoot. I don't know how many people I've shoot away from the gun counter because of that scenario. I mean,
the husband telling the wife what to do, or
well, just taking pictures, and like they'll walk in together. One will go to the gun counter, take pictures, and they must be sending it to the other person they walked in with, and that person will come to the gun counter and look at that gun. And it's like, are you guys that stupid? You honestly think that's going to work?
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I had a girl the other day. I was talking about this with Night Strike, and she wanted to come in and buy this Chiappa. It was a little 22. One of those stupid little single action cowboy wannabe guns. And she's holding it, and it's pointed right at me. And she pulls the trigger back, and then she pulls the trigger, or she pulls the hammer back and pulls the trigger. I'm like, ma'am, you can't do that. She's like, well, why not? I said, because it's a rimfire gun, first of all. I said, and second of all, you're gonna damage the firearm, and then we won't be able to sell it. And she's like, oh, and then she's like, and I'm like, one of the biggest reasons is because it's pointed at my chest. So if it was loaded, you would have just shot me in my chest, and I would have been unhappy. She goes, you know what her response was?
Just unhappy?
Yeah. I said, her response was, well, it's unloaded and we're in the store anyway. That was her response. I looked at her. I grabbed the firearm, put it back in the case. I said, all right, I'll be right back. So I went in the back, did this phone call because these people wouldn't leave me alone. Come back out there, and I'm like, look, I'm not going to sell you anything. I said, every time you come in here and I'm in here, I'm never going to sell you a gun just based on your response, just based on the way you handle this gun. And if you want to talk to my management, that's fine. And I'm going to explain the situation where you don't think it's a big deal, pointing a gun at somebody's chest, pulling the trigger and saying, well, we're at a store anyway and it's unloaded, so who cares? And her dad looked at her and he's like, well, see you later. Get out of here. Moron.
And there's some people out there that just don't realize that people selling a gun have a higher bar to selling you that gun. A lot of times it's that they don't, the people, and this is especially true on the left, they don't think that they think we want everybody to have a gun. There's some people that just shouldn't have them.
There's some people that should be in a padded room.
There are, and they don't realize that there are times that I've seen. I told you I've seen it. Get Guns it's a big. They're a big gun store. It's not like they're hurting for any sales, but they did exactly what I would expect a gun store to do. They had two guys there, and one is pointing out the guns that he wants the other one to look at, and they're like, out. You're gone. And you've had time. Roll Call's had times he sent people packing. And
the funny ones where I just straight up, it's like we're not even going to get into the paperwork aspect. Is when the girl picks up the 45. It's like, and then you hand it to her, and she looks at it, like, and holding it in both hands. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's the one. And the husband's standing right next to her. It's like, no, that's not. You're 5'2", you're wet at like 110. I'm like, that's not the gun for you. I'm like, have a great day.
You said that totally wrong. Terrible person.
Oh,
you weigh 110 soaking wet would be the proper term. Not the way you said it.
Well,
Yeah.
It's roll call.
One gets your butt in trouble, the other one won't.
It's roll call, though. You said, Gary Gizzard, you're wet 110 pounds.
Shoot, my clothes probably weigh 110 pounds.
I could tell you story after story. And you know what? Don't take this like I've been doing this for like 30 years. I've been doing this for almost a year. That's it. And I'll tell you, the first day on the job, because I've always been on the other side of the counter, just buying guns. But the first day on the job, we had like two gun traces. The ATF guy came in. There was a straw purchase. It was fucking insane. And I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to do this? Is this what I have to deal with? And it was total chaos. And I'm like, oh my God. And when you talk to the people at the ATF or gun trace, you got to be like, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, yelling out the number. I'm like, what is this? Because they'll yell at you for that shit, man.
Oh, I believe it.
It was the last one I had to do was this lady, and they called to give me their decision, and boy, it's like I would never date you ever, lady. She was that mean. Like I was like in fear of my life on the phone.
How did we go from selling guns to now he's not going to date some chick?
Mm-hmm. Some chick that works at Nick's.
Yeah, she was. Oh, what's your FFL number? Give me it now. Blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my God, lady, calm down. We were gonna get this right. And then she told me. And then she's like, did you release the gun? I'm like, no. She's like, okay. This is so-and-so. It's Whiskey Tango Foxtrot giving me her freaking number. I'm like, what? I'm like, calm down.
And then Roll Call's like, all right, I'll pick you up at 7.
No.
Sound.
Was Olive Garden good for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'll meet you at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, they're anti-gun, so then she can't get wild and pistol whip me. Mm-hmm.
I used to love Buffalo Wild Wings, and then I saw that little sign, and it was like, nope.
Yeah, that one hurt. I love
mine doesn't have it.
Yeah,
my Buffalo Wild Wings doesn't have that sign.
Yeah,
I've only been to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I bet they do. It's in the lower right-hand corner.
That's where mine did it, right next to the ground. You have to look clear down to see.
It's in the lower right-hand corner. It's on all of them, as far as I know.
Bastards.
As far as I know, I never look at the sign. So
I've open carried in there, and they've never said anything to me.
I thought that was their company-wide policy, though.
It is.
It is.
I'll have to take a look next time. Are
they a franchise place though? Can the franchise owner make their own decision if they want to?
I think it's company policy. I read it was anyway.
I'll have to check that out.
I just go to Pizza Hut. They got good wings too.
I just like more meat than what's on wings, and they're too much work for so little meat. So I just go to KFC and get a breast.
Oh, I had the worst KFC the other day. I had those barbecue chicken tenders. Oh my God. I pooped so many times.
Wow.
3 bowel movements a day is like being healthy. Man,
there you go.
I think I pooped like 6 times.
We're talking about poop, man.
And now yep, I guess I don't know if that's an improvement on this show or
there you go.
Worse, but this is your Buffalo Wild Wings sign. It's always in the lower right-hand corner on there.
Yeah, they don't do the standard symbols like they're supposed to.
No.
Well, I don't know about
the same way.
And that one's in my town?
I don't know if it's in your town, but next time you go by there, you look at the lower right-hand corner because that's where they put it.
Yeah, it's usually not a real big sign either.
You know what that sign means to me?
0?
0.
Well, you know what it means. You know what it means to me is that, I know how they feel.
I don't eat at Buffalo Wild Wings anyway, so I've literally eaten there twice in my life.
It's not that I care, as far as, whether I can go in there or not. If they got that kind of attitude, there's other places I'd rather eat. That's the way I look at it.
I've only been there twice, and both times it was because somebody took me there for lunch, and then it was free. And that's been a few years.
Money. I like giving my money to people who don't act like that.
We would go there when we lived in Wisconsin because that was the only place we'd go see the Bears game. So we'd go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and then that hurt. And I don't like wings, but like the popcorn chicken or the popcorn shrimp that they have, those are good. The food is decent for a chain place, but once I realized they had that sign, that was the end of that.
I always went to my local Moose Lodge to go watch Bears games, and they were like, "Well, just don't open carry it, but you can keep it on you, just cover it up." And I was good with that.
Yeah, but you're in Indiana, so you got a little better chance of watching a Bears game. If you're living in Wisconsin, you're not going to see a Bears game. Not without going someplace.
By the way, the Cubs did lose 8-6.
Well, opening day was yesterday, though, wasn't it? Did they play yesterday?
For baseball, their opening days, I don't think it's until like April. Yeah, April 6th. Does anybody know the theme of Tulsa this year? Do they ever announce what they're going to do? Because I hope it's not.
No, they had themes.
What are you talking about themes? I've been going there my whole life.
Yeah, they don't do themes for it. No.
It was like last year. All it was like cowboy action stuff.
It's not a theme. That's just what happens to be there. What happens to be popular at that time? Whatever they're.
So whatever shows up that's it, huh?
Pretty much what the vendors bring.
Hey, the Royals won today. All right.
It's a lot of, most of their stuff is collector's guns, or not most of it, but a good portion of it's collector's style guns, which is what most people go there for. You're not going there to buy a brand new Glock. You can go to your local dealer and buy for $10 more. Why pay $10 to get in the door to go buy that?
I told Cindy I'm getting an SKS whether she likes it or not.
So what you're saying is Cindy's going to be in the running for Wound Up Some Bitch of the Week again?
Yeah, she's going to be pretty mad. At this point, I'm willing to pay anything. I can't. There's no getting around it. You're not finding it like cheap.
Don't you have like a Cabela's near you?
I'm not buying anything from any of those chain stores. They're overpriced. Everything's overpriced in Bass Pro. Everything. I don't even know where the Cabela's is in my area. We have one. I've never gone to it.
I think there's one in Hammond. How close is that to you?
That's probably like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
I'm sure Cabela's that close. Cabela's is not overpriced like Bass Pro. I don't know about their guns. I've never bought any guns there, but
didn't Bass Pro just buy Cabela's?
It doesn't matter. They're totally separate still. Their prices are totally two different things.
Yeah,
I buy tons of ammo at Cabela's,
and I think that one in Hammond gets milsurps in quite a bit because I saw something come up on one of the Illinois forums that they got in a bunch of. What the hell did they get in it was after we left. And they got in, it might have been K31s. They got a bunch of K31s in there to Hammond.
Man, I'll even stoop as low to get one of those at this point. I'm like.
Stoop for a K31? That's not stooping, brother.
I think I'd rather have the K31 than an SKS. I know I would. They're pretty cool. The bolts on them is just cool.
I don't know. I got to add to the collection. I can get a Star BM anytime I want, so I'm holding off on that.
Sounds like you had like 3 Star BMs the other night.
I'm glad I got mine.
No, I didn't have 3.
Unfortunately, I am not buying anything really at Tulsa because all my money's getting saved to go to NRA. I just bought that lever gun the other day, so that was my gun money for this moment.
That was your GP 100 money.
It was, and I'm gonna be ticked. I'm gonna go to stinking Tulsa, and I'm gonna walk by a booth, and they're gonna have a GP.
They're gonna have like 8 GP 100 sitting there.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'll leave with one too.
You have 8 GP 100 sitting there, blued.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm gonna go full squib and just put it on a credit card. Ain't that right, Squib?
Oh, he came back in. When did he come back in?
I don't know. I just noticed he was here, but he's apparently just here in theory.
He turned his.
I've been here. I just haven't had anything to add because I pretty much disagree with everything you guys have said all night.
What's new?
That's normal, isn't it?
That's normal. That's normal. He came back in before Rich left. I see that now.
I mean, I'll start with the SKS is one of the biggest piece of crap rifles in the world, and then work my way back down to the list too. I love the NRA.
I didn't hear anybody say they love the NRA. I did hear Roe Call think the SKS is a great rifle.
I think it's cool, man.
You ever own one?
No, I don't own anything.
You've never have you shot one?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You ever even shot one or played with one?
I've seen them. I've seen guys at the range.
Have you taken it apart and cleaned it? Have you loaded it? It's a piece of crap.
Is it really that bad?
Yep.
I've shot one a bunch, and
they used to be $100 or less, and that's all they're really worth. What people asking for them today is a joke.
That's what I'm saying. I went to this place and they're asking like $650, $700. I'm like, this gun is not worth that.
Ouch.
There is no
I wouldn't
way.
take one if you gave it to me for free.
Yeah, but you're an elitist.
See a gun snob?
Says the gun snob.
Yeah. Well, I almost said a gun snob, but I had to come up with something else. I mean, I would take, if I could find one for $200, yeah, I'd take one just to have.
I mean, I'd pay at the most like $300 at the most, and it better be in decent shape. Not one of those
Good
ones
luck.
that are crapped.
Jason's trying to trade me a GP100 for my Winchester 94. I'm not getting rid of the Winchester 94. I already own it. But what kind of GP100 you got? What are we talking? I mean, I might be interested in buying it.
Well, you want a blued one, don't you?
I want a blued one, yes. Do not want stainless, unless it's cheap.
We got a wild, what was it? A SP101, a Wild Willie or something like that?
I have no clue what a wild, well, never mind. I don't even want to know what a Wild Willie is.
I don't know. Maybe I said it wrong, but I don't know. It's like a snub nose, but it's in 357 and it's got wood grips. It looked pretty nice.
The SP101s are nice. They're just smaller than I want. I want a full size 4-inch barrel. Something, it's not something I'm going to carry. It's just a range toy. Probably more like a safe queen.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at one to shoot deer with.
Is that what Black Cat took? No, he took out.
He took out that old school revolver.
Yeah, I know he took out a revolver. I can't remember what it was, though. I can't remember if it was a single action.
I thought it was a Red Hawk or something.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it was. It was Red. It was Red Hawk or yeah.
I killed a doe with a 6-inch Ruger Security 6 and 357 Magnum. 4.
That's what I'm talking about.
Kinky got excited.
4 inches.
When did he get excited?
4 inches. You don't with Kinky. You don't even run into his. What do you? He's got an upcharge if it's over 6. I think. So. All right. I think we're gonna wind this thing down. I'm beat out there. That pond is kicking my ass. They let that thing go. So out there digging out all the roots and everything behind all the rocks, and it's killing me. Oh, 7.5 inch. He's got an upcharge. So we'll wind this down, and then I'm going to bed. Squib, you got anything you want to plug? You got any speaking Squibbish coming up while you're out there driving around in circles?
I've got some that I could hit public on and put them out there, but I mean they'll show up eventually.
I'm gonna play A&A and chime in on him. He should do a new speaking Squibbish on why the SKS sucks.
You want to speak in Squibbish on why the SKS sucks?
Just for roll call.
I watch.
I got nothing for you, man.
All right. Well, be safe out there driving around in circles, Squib. Gizzard, what do you got? You got crap. I can't think of it. You got your early show tomorrow, whatever you're calling it.
Yeah, I've got the early bird chat tomorrow.
Early bird. There we go. See, I should have got that.
10 Eastern, 9 Central, and then Foul Territory. I don't know if we're going to have one next Friday. It depends on what goes on at Tulsa. I would like to personally thank you for at least going live and having a show tonight, so we have something on.
Hey, I went live and had a show. I don't even want to hear it.
And thanks for having me. Like, share, and subscribe to everybody on the panel, especially Obnoxious One. Thanks for the invite, and give him the bird.
All right. Thanks for coming in, Gizzard. Roll call. What do you got coming up? Are you gonna be doing a rants and raves Wednesday night, or are you gonna be traveling or getting ready to travel?
I am leaving. I'm gonna try and leave Thursday night because I want to get there kind of early because I've got 2 different stops that I want to make, and then by the time we get done screwing around in Oklahoma City, we'll go to the hotel and check in and everything. But I'm trying to leave by Thursday night and driving all the way through.
Just a word of advice: don't go to Oklahoma City. Stop in Tulsa. Just a word of advice.
Well, the place
that's about 2 hours too far.
In Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Hang on, but I got things I got to do because my check-in's not until 3, so I can't go to the hotel room. So I'm going to go explore Oklahoma City.
Just a word of advice: don't go to either. They both suck.
Should do a speaking squibbish on why Tulsa and Oklahoma City suck as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I could do.
But right. I'm gonna try and do a rants and rave on Wednesday, but I'm working all the way up until Thursday. I work a day shift on Thursday, so I might not be able to do it. So we'll have to figure something out. But other than that, thanks for having me. This is a really crappy show, and I'm glad to be on it. Thank you.
Well, you're quite welcome for coming on the crappy show. It's a dumpster fire. We may just change the name. I still kind of like Orange. You're glad it's not the closer, but we may make the dumpster fire the running theme here. So, Snob, what do you got? What do you got coming up?
I don't know. I got to do a makeup show at some point this week.
You got to do a makeup show. You got to do a giveaway.
I got a bunch of stuff to give away, and I really
host the early bird show.
I can't tomorrow. I got to run and do a quick little job in the morning that I was going to do today, and it took me all day to work cattle. So if I get home in time, I'll do one tomorrow evening. If not, we'll do it one day this week. If worst case scenario, we will do it Thursday night during the host for Obnoxious / Sarge because they're driving and that deal. But other than that, yeah, I probably will get a video done at some point this week. I need to. And then for sure we're going to do a Thursday show, I think. I think that's what we decided. So that's all I got.
Andrew's going to get in big trouble with 7 Wonders. He wants him to have Kung Pao Kitty for dinner. I think 7 Wonders is going to go after him for that one. Sounds yummy. I was wrong. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Oh, really? Really?
You know what he's going to do? He's going to come in here and last minute he's going to plug that freaking Indiegogo shit.
Hey,
and then he's going to
chance. Can you buy a patch for my Indiegogo?
Sounds like e-begging to me.
It was my birthday yesterday, and I would like for someone to buy a patch and or decal. Hey, thanks for the invite, guys.
You're working?
Heck yeah, I'm working. I've already saved somebody's life since you guys have been doing this nonsense.
Oh, well, that's good. I didn't know you were working tonight. I thought you were off.
After you saved their life, did you ask them to buy a patch?
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
That's funny. He puts a little note in there. Subscribe to Sarge C4 Defense and buy a patch. As they're
speaking of e-begging. Oops.
So, Sarge, you got anything you want to plug besides your e-begging for your patch sales?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kidding. If anybody wants to buy a patch, that's fine. We're about to hit the mark, and that'll be winding up here fairly soon. But no, I appreciate the invite. I'm getting excited for Tulsa, and goofing off, doing a little bit of editing. I filmed a video Thursday, but with working this weekend, the editing doesn't take top priority. So, and I appreciate all the birthday wishes. So that was really cool. So thank you.
All right.
The chicken's stealing your thunder.
Yeah, I know. I see, and he's using my hook for it.
I learned.
You dirty son of a.
I learned.
Well, in that case, I'm calling it here. I'll plug Rich since he left. He's got a show. I think it's at 8:00 tomorrow night, Eastern. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But go check out on This Week Unloaded. Go over and check him, and hopefully he's doing a little better tomorrow. You can go to my Patreon that Snob is so gracefully put up there to actually help the fight against e-begging. Or you can go over to the Fake Chicken Man's and do it on his too. So thank you everybody for showing up. Glad you guys stuck around for the dumpster fire.
I turned mine off.
Good. I've shamed the chicken into submission. But that is it for Orange and Glad It's Not the Closer, number 7. We will see you guys next Thursday from the road.
We're doing a live remote.
Yep. Get your plugs in here before I shut it down.
From every rest stop in the country.
Give him the bird.
I ain't got no tagline.
Hang on the rain.